morning, everyone. We are Whatever Is Left, here with a fresh Wake Up Wednesday episode for you guys. And we have some awesome stories for you guys today. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Dani. Let's just jump into it.
All right, so you want the first story this week?
No, you want the first story this week.
Okay,
I'll
take it. Let's see. Let's start with Russia. Good old Russia.
We do love talking about Russia around here, don't we?
Almost as much as they love talking about it on MSNBC.
Russia and billionaires. I think that's our niche.
So let's talk about Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. He died in prison on the 16th. He has long been a critic of Putin's and spent years of his life behind bars for protesting and charges of embezzlement. Apparently, they said that he misappropriated lots of wood from lumber from a state-owned lumber company.
Okay. I guess if yelling at him didn't work, charging him with embezzlement might lose supporters.
Yeah. Amnesty International called one of his trials a sham, and Western nations have put sanctions on Russian officials in the past for their treatment of Navalny in prison and stuff like that. And yeah, he passed away in a Russian prison, comparable to what some people would have called in the past a gulag. It was in the far north. It was basically not quite Siberia, but like
it's not Siberia.
Damn near.
But no one's gonna argue if you say it. Oh, he was 47.
Yeah, and it's a labor camp basically. So that's how they do it in Russia. Everyone suspects foul play.
Oh yeah, no. This is the new what's that guy who didn't kill himself in prison?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. This is the new Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself in prison.
Yeah. So Navalny's not the first enemy of Vladimir Putin's who's just happened to die even in the last year, because there was that the leader of that militia that was working for Russia that went down in the helicopter or something like that.
Suspicious, but things happen. People die, helicopters fall.
Yeah, and this guy's
political
health
rivals
was deteriorating for a while in prison. I wonder why. It's almost like he was probably being treated pretty poorly there. But yes, so he passed away in prison. There were more protests in Russia about this. His wife seems like she wants to carry on his cause and rally his supporters. Her name is Yulia. Yulia Navalnaya.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Yes, a pissed off widow.
She has nothing to lose now.
But yeah, that's a bit. I don't know a whole lot about Alexei Navalny. I know that he was sort of an anti-corruption candidate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not sure what progressive looks like in Russia, but from his Wikipedia article that I looked over, it seemed like that was the direction that he was going in. But from what I saw, he's mostly like an anti-corruption candidate. And he got everyone who was pissed off at Putin to sort of rally in his, direction. He was a presidential candidate before they took him off the ballot.
Yeah, he was like that. That's the thing that everyone talks about. Is like he was a political rival to Putin. It wasn't just like
taken off the chessboard, put in an Arctic work camp where he just passes away from illness. Seems legit.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that he died of natural causes. Yep.
Apparently, they're still doing an investigation as to what really happened. I'm sure we're going to get some very serious, real answers out of that.
Yeah. When you investigate yourself, you'll never find what you did wrong.
But yeah, so that's that story. I thought it was pretty interesting.
No, it's a great story. It's truly.
Yeah, I have to look a bit more into Russian politics. Putin's just been in control of the country for so long.
But it's not a dictatorship. He's an elected official.
An elected official who occasionally gets rid of his political rivals.
Just occasionally. I mean, I hear...
And who changes the Constitution to allow himself to have many more terms than traditionally allowed. But not infinite terms, just more terms. Enough so that he'll probably live out his life in office.
But he changed it, so what he did isn't illegal.
I mean, it's technically not, but doesn't mean it feels good.
He's... You know what this feels like?
What?
I think it's too nerdy of a comparison right now, actually. But I think this is the playbook that Trump is trying to follow. Get in office, change constitution, stay in office for the remainder of life so he doesn't have to go to jail.
It's really funny because it was the Republicans who put term limits in for the presidency in the first place. They were tired of FDR winning so many times, getting elected 4 times.
It's almost like the people wanted him and that he did successful things.
A lot of people think so, yeah. So the Republicans got rid of it because they were tired of people getting elected that many times. And now we have 2-term limits for the president.
I get.
Which was like the trend before, but it wasn't like a restriction.
It was like an unspoken rule because like Washington did it, so they were like, okay, it'd be cool to follow the steps of the first president. Like, I get it. Like, they were like, oh, I'm gonna be as cool as that first guy. Yeah. I mean, traditions are just peer pressure from dead people.
Very true. What is your next story?
Okay. My story is we hit a little bit about it last week, but this past week, Fani Willis, the elected DA in Georgia, had her hearing on whether she should be disqualified from pursuing the election interference case in Georgia. So the reason I want to talk specifically about her, though, I mean, it's her trial, but a lot of people are talking about her attitude or her aggression on the stand. I'm like, and she was just a well-prepared witness. She knew what she could do, and maybe she got a little bit more leeway than like you or I would on the stand, but I think overall that she handled herself with poise and elegance, but everyone's like, oh, she's ghetto, she's aggressive, she's hostile, when she's just being like firm and standing on business, really.
Standing on business.
Standing on business. I was
like
trying
the
to...
kids say.
Whatever. But no, so the first thing she did, she walked up there, she like, with confidence, and I think that threw off the Trump's lawyers, because they're the ones who brought this about. So they're trying to disqualify her, saying that she benefited financially from a relationship she had with the special counsel, but he wasn't even her first choice, he wasn't even her second choice, but everyone's like, oh, you hired your boyfriend, and timeline wise they dated after he was hired. I think it's a little weird to date your coworker, but that's just me, especially when like this is a career making trial. But like, that's more feeling like you're judging a woman for her sexual history and her choice to date, and not about the facts in the case. And like, those are two different things. And she's going on there saying what she needs to say, and everyone's like, oh, well, you're not proving anything. And a witness stating a fact is proof enough. And that if you are going to say that isn't proof enough, that means you're calling her a liar and that she's committing perjury, which I think is an interesting way of trying to do it. But I don't think she's going to get disqualified. The way she's speaking and the people who the only people who have really were the witnesses against her was a disgruntled ex-friend / employee who had been spoken to multiple times about a performance, and it seems more like a petty grudge at this point. And I hate to say that because like it's another woman, and I don't want to like women attacking women, but
She seems pretty sure of herself.
yeah. And I think I think there is some arrogance you have to do the job she's doing. Like I don't like heart doctors. I don't want a heart doctor to be like humble. No, I want an arrogant heart doctor. Like there is a level of arrogance you want from like your district attorneys, your doctors, the people who are,
Acceptable arrogance.
Yeah, like there's a level of acceptable arrogance. And I think that's what she's having.
You're president of the United States,
But I think what people are having trouble with, I think if this had been like a white woman or a white man, they would not be attacking her the way they are. They're more talking about like how she's speaking and how she isn't qualified or anything like that. Like I saw comments like, "Oh, she's ghetto. Atlanta deserves her." I'm like, first of all, they did vote for her, so like, good on them. But she wasn't acting ghetto. She wasn't. She was just more direct. That's the thing. She was very direct, and she answered the questions that were asked. And do I think that she answered the way that they wanted her to answer? Of course not. But she answered the questions, and it's the defendant's fault for asking a question they don't know the answer to. In any other circumstances, we'd be praising her as a witness.
Yeah, it does make a point about not going after your coworkers, just in case it's going to cause a big issue for you down the road. But hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, and like, I personally wouldn't do it, but like, I'm not judging you. Like, I am not judging her actions on that because like, I don't know what he looks like. He could be fine. Yeah, I think it's just really interesting, and I'm not sure if you've seen any clips. I think you should check them out. I haven't seen any clips yet. Yeah. What's your next story? I think we're on a roll on this. Donald Trump.
So, Big Dani, him and his gang of misfits and criminals had been ordered to pay over $350 million in damages. And he has been barred from doing business in the state of New York or taking out bank loans for 3 years. And when factoring in prejudgmental interest, the total was over $450 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money even for a supposed billionaire.
Supposed.
It's pretty common knowledge at this point that while him and his family were enriched by his presidency in like a lot of ways, he probably overvalued all of his assets to get classified as a billionaire in the first place.
I'm pretty sure that's literally what this New York case was about, was him.
So there's less money than it seems like there is, and I'm sure he's kind of pissing his pants right now over like, oh, where am I going to get all this money? But I think he had some interesting ideas on how to raise that money, which we'll get to in a few minutes.
I giggle because it's my story.
So what do you think? Do you think that he's going to actually fork up all this money?
I mean, so fun fact, court judgments cannot be written off in a bankruptcy like this.
I love that for him.
So I was like, what a tactic that people will do is, declare bankruptcies. Like we talked about Purdue Pharma doing something similar. But because this is not towards a business, but a person, you're still liable towards that And so he's gonna have to. Like, at this point, there's no avoiding. They cannot avoid this. Which is interesting. At some point, though, like, you become such a... You have so much going against you that you become what is, like, uncollectible. Like, you're just someone that's not worth pursuing anymore. Because you have so many judgments already.
I wish the American people would view him that way.
I think he's gonna be paying it. I just don't think he'll ever be able to pay it off if, you know.
He doesn't make it back into office?
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. Apparently they already started, like, a GoFundMe to
God.
raise all of the money to pay off his damages.
You know what? If you're gonna go and donate to a GoFundMe, someone's healthcare, someone's repairing a car, anything but Donald Trump.
Anything but Donald Trump.
I mean, maybe not anything, but like most things that are not Donald Trump. Let's sort of a little caveat to it.
There are a few things that are less worth giving money to.
Yeah. Yeah. This man does not deserve your money. Let's start with that. Like, let's not talk about need or want, but he does not deserve your money. You deserve your money more than he deserves your money.
Maybe he should have asked his dad for a small loan of $350 million.
Maybe that's a medium loan at that point. Maybe.
But yeah, so yeah, he owes a lot of money.
So much money.
And he's in a bad spot.
But
And he looks really bad. Like a criminal.
not a smooth criminal, though.
No. Yeah, a chunky criminal. Like peanut butter. That's a peanut butter joke.
Okay. So that kind of leads into my story.
Smooth like this transition.
Donald Trump is trying to take the Kanye route and sell some sneakers.
Honestly, I think this is like the least offensive thing he's done.
Oh, yeah. But no, he showed up to SneakerCon and allegedly got booed while at SneakerCon.
Allegedly.
I absolutely love all those people. This is not the crossover I thought I was going to ever have, was my sneaker love and my politics loves coming together. And I'm mad it's this way. But I will put the picture here, he created the worst sneakers I've seen in a while. I'm pretty judgmental, though, so, like...
They're shiny.
They are shiny. If you are trying to rob a bank, these are not the shoes you're going to be wearing.
They're gold colored.
With the T. Like, you know, because he, you know,
The golden,
branding.
Golden Trump T.
Has a flag on the heel.
Red and white soles.
Yeah, it's a look. It's
a gaudy looking shoe.
And he's selling them for $399. $399. That's the high top. So they apparently have two low top sneakers.
So, in order for him to pay off all of the money that he owes by selling sneakers, he needs to sell 875,000 pairs of these.
Okay, so it's on pre-order, and apparently they're sold out because it's super limited for 1,000 pairs. So it's 1,000 pairs. Each is numbered, and at least 10 of them will be randomly signed by Trump. So
that's only $400,000 worth of sneakers.
Yes, but then he does have the
other shoes.
He has two other shoes that are low tops. So those are high tops. He has two other shoes. The
T Red Wave and the POTUS 45s.
Okay. So, okay. Oh, and he has like both the T Red Wave and the POTUS 45s. He has 45 with like a wing, like an angel wing.
Those kind of look like the Kanye shoes too. Don't they? A little bit?
A little bit. Like,
the same kind of like fabricy, like stretchy top.
I told you that he's going with a a look, and these are both $199.
True.
So
A little bit more affordable.
that's a tiny bit, but these do not look like they are limited edition.
They're not.
So if you want, you could still pre-order what is a euphemism for a woman on her monthly.
The only red wave I want is communism.
And then he does have a cologne and a perfume.
What are they called?
Victory 47.
Victory 47.
So I'm guessing he's assuming he's going to be president, the 47th president.
Well, it's kind of weird because he was already the 45th president.
Yeah.
So he wants to be 45 and 47.
Which is how the math works.
I mean,
I think he's
the same guy, so it still feels like he's the 45th.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna call the if. Okay. I still think he's gonna be like 45th and 47. But okay, the point is, one of them. So the cologne is like a molding of him, like a bust of him, and then the perfume, is hourglass shaped. Is how I'll describe it, with a big T.
Yeah.
A big golden T.
He's got like a little tiny golden bust of his head.
That's what I said,
That's
the bust of his
crazy.
head. But there's a strict limit of 3 pairs per customer. Strict 3 pairs per customer.
Oh, the special offer ones are already sold out.
Yeah. But if you buy 2 or more items, you get 2 bonuses. I personally am not going to be buying any of this. I do want to know what
it's a joke.
I want to know what the scents are. Like I kind of want to buy it just to try, but I refuse to give this man any money.
You'll have to like go on TikTok and like find some reviews that people have made about it.
I will. I think that is good. Like once it comes out,
like a week, you know.
It won't. It doesn't. The scents do not come out until June. Like they don't get shipped till June 2024. So we'll see if this actually comes to fruition or if this man just steals everyone's money.
Also, I am a nerd, so
Okay.
I looked up the last president who had like split terms, and it does get counted the way that he is counting it. But I don't like it.
No, that's what I figured.
So like the last time it happened was with Grover Cleveland.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, who was the 22nd and 24th president from 1885 to 1889 and from 1893 to 1897. He's the only one who's ever done that before. And hopefully he stays the only one who's ever done that before.
I hope so too. One of the bonuses, sneakers come with extra laces and an exclusive Trump superhero charmed that's numbered.
See, this is what I thought he was going to do instead of just running for president again. I thought he would just sit here and just market himself and just Trump brand everything and then fade into obscurity. But no.
I think bonus 2 is the greatest bonus. Not really, but just pretend like it is. Bonus 2, official Trump sneaker launch party. Date TBD. No guarantee President Trump will attend.
Oh, God.
That is the exact way. No guarantee President Trump will attend.
His website is written like he wrote it himself. And I love that.
Oh my God.
These people are insane and kind of hilarious.
I'm going to put the picture of the superhero charm too because I need you all to enjoy.
Like, this is like the most Trump story I've heard in a while, other than the many crimes and him owing lots of money.
They photoshopped
like him
him
being this silly, goofy merch guy. It's like the least offensive thing he's done.
This has to be an old... Either they photoshopped him extremely or it's an old picture because that's not what this man looks like right now.
Absolutely not.
He looks more like Joe Biden than Joe Biden looks like...
Actually, though, kind of. I got a question, though.
Yeah.
If Joe Biden came out with a website like this that sold all kinds of Joe Biden like merch.
Are you telling me that Joe Biden wants to be a sneakerhead? Because I can't. Like in the sense that Joe Biden becomes a sneakerhead and he has a high top pair and 2 low top pairs and a superhero charm.
Ooh, come on, don't you want some Joe Biden cologne? some perfume that he'd want to sniff.
This is why we do this, because sometimes the ridiculousness of our public servants.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, do you think Joe Biden should match this energy? Or should he just be like, no, that stuff's beneath me, Jack?
Okay. Do I want to see what the brilliance that the Biden campaign could come up with? Yes. I would love to witness that. Will they? I don't think so, but I want them to now. Now, would I ever buy it? No, I would just sit here and criticize the whole thing like I did with Trump. We keep the same energy around here. They just look uncomfortable. Do you ever just look at a shoe and just know it's not comfortable? They're going to tear right there. They're going to tear right there, and people are going to be so
and you can almost guarantee that they're made in, like,
China?
Chinese sweatshops.
Yeah.
Or someplace in Cambodia. China. We should make things in America. Well, we will keep you guys updated on this very interesting development. Because finding out that his stuff's all made in China, like his hats were back in his campaign days, would be hilarious.
Okay, I really enjoyed that story though. I thought it was like a really great story to follow up your actual tragic story on him. So what's your last story, Hunter?
Well, to take another dark turn after we had so much fun talking about the golden Trump shoes. I have.
This is a roller coaster ride of an episode, isn't it?
It is. We threw the fun story in the middle.
I have a fun story to end it with. Don't worry, folks.
All right. So before Dani starts asking me whether I think this is the start of World War III,
I don't do it that often. Okay.
It's been like twice already.
Yeah,
Hezbollah, the Lebanese Shia Islamist political militant group that's largely funded by Iran, has fired rockets into northern Israeli towns in response to Israeli missiles targeting people that work for them in Hezbollah in Lebanon. So Israel had been striking Hezbollah in Lebanon. Hezbollah is attacking them back. The Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza has grown and heightened tensions with Israel's neighbors. I heard a story that the issues that they're having on the Egyptian border is causing some severe headaches for Egypt, and tensions are high over there. They're already dealing with the Houthis in Yemen, terrorist attacks in Iran, and now, of course, what's happening in Lebanon, which could really turn into like a hot war on another front for them really quickly. And in fact, Hezbollah leadership has said that tensions will only de-escalate if there is a ceasefire in Gaza. Does that seem likely to happen anytime soon?
Well, now that they're getting attacked back by someone who can actually... Well, can Lebanon properly defend itself?
This isn't even Lebanon proper. This is just Hezbollah, which is like a military group within the country of Lebanon. Lebanon has its own military.
Okay. No, I figured as much.
Lebanon and Hezbollah could team up to go to war with Israel, but, you know, one of them is supplied weapons and money by the United States, and the other one is not.
Okay. So, this all started because I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly before I make my when I ask my question. The Israeli missiles attacking target. So, like, Israeli missiles targeted first, then Lebanon. Or then Hezbollah? That is the order. That's the order of events, right? Israeli fired first, Hezbollah responded.
There has been a lot of back and forth between the two groups for a while now.
Okay.
There's history there that goes back even further than the war in Gaza. But this has just been like escalating the tensions there, certainly. So from the article that came out today from Reuters here, it's about 2 airstrikes hit an area near coastal Lebanese town of Gazia. Witnesses said after the Israeli military said it had struck weapons depots near the port city of Sidon. So this is an instance of Israeli missiles striking Lebanese territory.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood that Israelis missiles did attack.
So this says that more than 170 Hezbollah fighters and nearly 36 civilians have been killed in Israeli strikes on Lebanon since Hezbollah launched rockets onto Israel in support of its Palestinian ally Hamas. Hamas fighters launched the attack on October 7th, killed 1,200 people, and took 250 people hostage. Last week, 2 sets of Israeli strikes on southern Lebanon killed 10 civilians and several Hezbollah fighters. Yeah, so things got messy. Hezbollah started acting up again in response to what was going on in Gaza. Israel started bombing the crap out of them, and there's more retaliation. It could get worse. It could definitely get worse.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
I just kept thinking about how a few weeks ago I asked, do you think that they are going to try and encroach on other parts around them? And you're like, no, Dani. And
I don't think they're trying to conquer Lebanon.
I feel like this is just the start. But, you know, pessimistic Dani. What do you expect? I don't know. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna watch, and
don't laugh at me.
Not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your Google search.
Well, okay. You can stop that at any time.
You wouldn't appreciate me if I did.
So what are the chances of a ceasefire in Gaza? It doesn't even seem like we have a president who's doing a whole lot to make that happen.
No.
And Netanyahu seems to not be...
He does not care about those people.
No, he doesn't want a ceasefire
at
all.
That man does not want a ceasefire.
It won't stop until Gaza is a parking lot.
Poor, beautiful Gaza.
Seeing the before and after pictures is kind of haunting.
But it's we need that constant reminder of this place was beautiful.
It's messed up.
Yeah. Damn, this was a roller coaster of an episode.
What's your last story?
I feel weird now going into the story.
No, go ahead. Take us back.
Later note, John Oliver has offered Clarence Thomas money to leave the Supreme Court, like out of his own pocket. HBO is not on the on the hook for this one. he has offered him $1 million per year, and there is more, a $2.4 million motor home for him to just leave, just to get the fuck out of the Supreme Court, to pack his shit and leave. And he's giving him a 30-day chance to resign.
Has there been any response yet from Clarence Thomas?
Not that I have seen. This happened last night. So Sunday night, because we record these on Monday nights.
What a funny story.
He's just like, John Oliver is truly just like, sir, get out.
I think that we should, I don't think he's going to get a response.
Oh, he's not going to get a response. He's not. And he's like, I have a contract and everything. Just take the contract. I mean, $1 million per year. It sounds like good money. Does he have to fill out a W-2 for Clarence Thomas?
Probably.
I think it's like 2 something.
Yeah. Supreme Court salary. Chief Justice. And Associate Justices. So yeah, they make over $268,000 a year.
But that's not where most of his money comes from. It comes from like speaking engagements and
yacht free
rides.
Vacations. Yeah, free vacations and yacht rides from billionaires who are trying to stay besties with the Supreme Court Justice.
He won't take the contract because he's already under contract.
Dang. And they also get full pay in perpetuity who resign, if they resign and they were at least 70 and had served 10 years in office. So he could go at any time and still get his full pay.
Yeah, so he'd get like the $1 million plus the 2.
Because he's been in office for a while.
Yeah, because I remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air making a joke about Carlton wanting to be like Clarence Thomas.
When did he get in office?
That's what I'm checking. In office since 1990.
Wow.
Oh, wait, that's U.S. Court of Appeal. Sorry. Let me look. 91. He was appointed by Bush.
Yeah.
George H.W. I feel like most people would know
Bush
that.
Senior. Yeah, so he could retire whenever he
replaced
wanted.
Thurgood Marshall.
How old is he?
He is old as fuck. 75.
Yeah, he could retire.
He could retire.
If you are listening to us, Clarence Thomas, please retire.
You know what I find very interesting about Clarence Thomas? He wasn't always
the crimes, the corruption.
I mean,
the shitty opinions.
Yes, but this man wasn't always a Republican. Like, his hero was Malcolm X. Like,
is this like one of those you become more conservative as you get older kind of things? Or?
To law school at a PWI, and he assimilated.
A PWI?
Predominantly white institution. Feels weird to be like dissing a black man during Black History Month, but
some of them, I guess, need a little kick in the ass.
Yeah, but yeah, he went from like supporting and like being a Black Panther, like loving Malcolm X, to like being everything they hate in the system. He climbed that ladder and yanked it up with him.
It's a good metaphor.
It's a great metaphor.
But yeah, Clarence Thomas, he sucks. John Oliver's That's a pretty funny thing for him to do. For a guy who I don't often find funny anymore.
That's fine. You hate most people.
But, you know, even the libs are funny at least once a day. Usually when they're not trying to be.
I think the best part of this is coming out of John Oliver's pocket.
He's good for it, I guess.
Okay. I mean, he does have an HBO show, so like.
It says he's got a net worth of like at least 40 million. So, yeah, you could probably fund him for the rest of his life.
I mean, like what? He's gonna live 25 more years.
Tops.
I mean,
there's a lot to unpack there. But yeah, that's all of our stories for the night.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry for the roller coaster that is.
Or the day, the morning.
Yeah. Sorry for the roller coaster that is the this week's Wake Up Wednesday.
Hope you guys were entertained nonetheless.
Because we certainly were.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
Happy Wednesday.
My dudes.